Hey guys, vocal coach Ken Taylor here, and today I wanted to give you an idea of how you can properly warm up your voice and give you a handful of vocal exercises to do that. So first off, why do we warm up our voice? Well, we want to make sure that we have the right balance for singing. Whether we're singing high or low, we want to get ourselves in the right placement for all of that. Now, throughout the course of the day, you might find yourself, if you're younger, you kind of sit in class or doing like this, you kind of get all tensed up and different things like that. Or you could be at work or anywhere else, frankly. There are a lot of different ways that our voices get out of whack. So we want to make sure that we get them in the proper placement and that we keep that placement whether we're high in our voice or low in our voice. Like thinking of it as vocal balance. So one of the ways that we can remain balanced or keep a balanced vocal mechanism is to always sing on a steady, consistent flow of air. So no matter how high we sing or how low we sing, we're not adding more air, we're not taking away air and kind of going into this. It's a steady flow of air the whole time. And one of the best exercises that I know of for helping to make sure that happens is the lip flutter. Now, if you want to do a lip flutter, this is just an example. You don't have to use this scale, but you lift up right here and you're going to blow air like this. Okay? If you think of a vowel sound like a could behind it, that'll help you keep a good placement. And in order for a lip flutter to work, it has to be open. Okay? You have to have open space. Without open space, it's going to close off and you're not going to have much space to flutter. Okay? So you want an open space. You might give it a little bit of space between your teeth. And to help out with the fluttering, you're going to lift up from the base of your chin to here to make your lips a little extra floppy. Now don't go above your teeth because they don't just, you can't do that. Just right here. Right? So what I'm going to do is just an arpeggiated octave and we'll go up for a second. So it'll be like and as you get more comfortable, you'll go higher with it. And another way that you can actually kind of get used to utilizing your diaphragm a little bit more is to repeat that scale over and over. So that's a really good way to make sure that you're giving a consistent flow of air and to kind of help yourself get through some of the longer phrases that you have to sing without taking in just this huge unnecessary breath that might cause a little bit of pressure and tension. Okay, so steady flow of air, we've got that taken care of with the lip flutter. The next thing that we want to do in order to maintain a balanced vocal mechanism is to have a level to lowered larynx. Now, that's something that's agreed upon by virtually everybody that I've ever taken voice from that's really approached and talked about technique. From a couple of my vocal mentors to the people that I learned voice from in college to even a classical teacher that I worked with before I ever went to college. Okay, so a level to lowered larynx, what does that mean? Well, your larynx is right here. Okay, it houses your vocal mechanism. Okay, your vocal cords are actually behind this vertebrae in your neck, if you will. Okay, now as most people sing higher, their larynx is going to pop up. So if I were going to be obnoxious and make a really bad sound, I'd say, ah. Okay, you see how this goes up? We don't want that. When we do that, it eventually causes more and more pressure in the voice, and it just, A, it doesn't feel good, but B, it'll lead the voice to cracking. But the way that we can help prevent that from happening is make sure it stays level to lower. And one of the ways that we can do that is, or at least one of my favorite ways, is to maintain a hooty tone while we sing. Especially the higher we go. The more we hoot out the voice, the more it's going to balance that larynx. So in the bottom, it's less necessary. So I might say, we'll say a whoa. Whoa, right here I don't need much hoot. As I go higher though, I'm going to go more towards whoa. So whoa, whoa. The higher I go, the more I balance this out to prevent it from rising. So instead of whoa, 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 like that, I went whoa, 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 whoa. Okay? And that keeps things balanced more. So you could do a whoa, 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 or go back to the arpeggiated octave. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then it'll allow you to hit a lot higher notes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. And so forth. Okay? So level to lowered larynx. Now that to me is going to be one of the things that's really going to help you to maintain balance in your voice as you sing higher. Because that's like the number one thing, one of the number one issues I see in singers is they want to really grab onto the higher notes and raise everything up. It kind of clenches and goes like that, okay? So that's something that you can practice. The lip flutters are excellent for maintaining vocal balance. Finally, we want to make sure that we keep, that we don't have a breathy tone, okay? Because you can't really do much in the way of controlling a breathy tone. So if I were to sing, now you can kind of hear that in there, right? So the reason that's there is because the vocal cords aren't actually coming together to create the sound, they're staying open. So they start out here, and then they go, and we want them to come all together, like that. Now, some people do this very naturally. Some people go too aggressive with this, and this is one of those things you don't want to get too aggressive with closing the cords. You go, okay. Over time, that's going to put too much pressure on them, and that can actually cause vocal damage, especially if you take that up too high. But maintaining cord closure is a very important part of keeping your voice balanced. So, one of the ways that we can do that is by using a tool called vocal fry. Now, vocal fry is not necessarily a pleasant sound. Neither is a dopey sound, neither is a flutter, really. But vocal fry, if you've ever seen the movie The Grudge, the ghost or whatever it is in the movie that's haunting the people in the house makes this really weird noise, and it sounds like this. Right? Well, that essentially is vocal fry. Your cords come together, and little bits of air come through and pop through. So that's essentially, if you can use that when you start out the tone, that'll help you to achieve chord closure. So for example, I'll start right here. Now notice, it's not an aggressive thing. It's like where I'm really digging into it. It's just a very light and at first you might have to make it a little longer as you get better and as it becomes more comfortable. It becomes shorter until you can just start without it, okay? But with chord closure. Now, I think that really pretty much does it. There are a handful of different ways that we kind of went over that you achieve that vocal balance. Having chord closure through vocal fry, maintaining a level to lowered larynx with the hooty tone, and you can do that on something other than wood. You can do it on different vowel and consonant combinations. It doesn't have to be wood, okay? And then the lip flutter, helping you maintain a steady flow of air. If you do those three things right, and you keep a proper balance of those, you'll find that your voice just it completely opens up, and it finds a new freedom. And that's really one of the things that I love seeing. I love seeing the surprise on the look of my students when they achieve that. They're like, "Oh my God, that works so well! Where'd that come from?" And all of a sudden they're singing a third or a fourth higher out of nowhere. Anyway, play with those things. My only caution to you is if you ever feel like your voice is getting tired or whatever, stop for a little bit and try it again. Maybe try to put less force on it or whatever. Our goal isn't to add muscles, add musculature's and tension into this, but more so to help you relieve those things. And these are all tools to help get your voice into the proper place, not to push it beyond. And if you take them too far, they can take you beyond. So play with it a little bit, see how much it helps you. If you find that it does, which I think a lot of you will, then do me a favor. Go to my Facebook page at facebook.com/singingtips. join our Singing Tips community. It's a community of singers. We're all out there, talking about different things, asking questions, giving answers, sharing our experiences. I post videos and articles on there and answer questions almost daily. It's a really cool tool for singers, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. And if you like it as much as I think you will, you might even share it with your singing friends, okay? So anyway, that does it today for our explanation on vocal warm-ups and why you need them and a handful of ways that you can do that. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.